no cream. Yeah, it's straight talk with Valerie. Come on, black coffee, no sugar, no cream. Yeah, it's straight talk with Valerie. Come on. It's straight talk with Valerie. It's straight talk with Valerie. Come on, black coffee, no sugar, no cream. It's straight talk with Valerie. Come on, black coffee, no sugar, no cream. It's straight talk with Valerie. Come on. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream.
A civil rights icon, a 17-term congressman from Georgia, and a leader to some 600 protesters who marched on Bloody Sunday in 1965. John Lewis helped galvanize the nation's opposition to racial segregation. At 25, Lewis was beaten by state troopers during the historic march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama.
History reminds us that on March 7, 1965, we loved America so dearly, we were ready to die for her.
Nationally televised images of the brutality forced the country's attention on racial oppression in the South. Later that year, President Lyndon Johnson pressed Congress to pass the Voting Rights Act, which removed barriers that had barred black people from voting. Lewis continued to champion voting rights for more than 30 years as a representative for Georgia's 5th Congressional District.
And there are forces in America today trying to take us back to another time and another place. Yes. But with the passage of this bill, we're saying we're not going back, we're going forward.
Lewis grew up on his family's farm in Pike County, Alabama, where he attended segregated schools. He was an avid reader despite being denied a library card because of the color of his skin. After helping to found the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee in 1963, Lewis became the youngest and last survivor of the Big Six civil rights activists, a group led by Reverend Martin Luther King, Jr. Lewis turned to politics in 1981, when he was elected to the Atlanta City Council. The Democrat has represented much of Atlanta in Congress since 1986, when he first won the seat. He was arrested 40 times during the civil rights movement in the 1960s, and 5 more times as a congressman. At 78, he said he'd do it again to help reunite immigrant families separated by President Donald Trump's administration.
I would go to the borders. I'd get arrested again. You know, if necessary, I'm prepared to go to jail. Thank you, brother.
In 2011, Lewis received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor, from then-President Barack Obama. And even after an advanced pancreatic cancer diagnosis in December, he was determined to serve his 18th term as congressman. The man some called the conscience of Congress easily won the Democratic bid for the seat in June.
Thank you for giving me a chance to testify.
Over the course of an unmatched career in public service, Lewis coined the term good trouble, reminding others of their duty to stand up for what's right.
And I said to all of the young people, to all of the children, we are getting in good trouble to set people free. We can do it. If we fail to do it, history will not be kind to us.
A legacy that's inspired generations of change. Angie Wang, Associated Press.
Good evening, Detroit. You are tuned in to Black Coffee, No Sugar, No Cream, Straight Talk with Valerie, WHPR 88 FM in Detroit and Highland Park, 107.3 WVIE in the Virgin Islands, and everyone on the Facebook Live around the nation. What's happening? I would be remiss not to play that clip of the Honorable John Lewis before I start tonight's show. Tonight, I have with me again the mayor of Ypsilanti, Mr. Brian Foley. Say what's up, Brian.
Hey, how's everybody doing? The mayor. That's my unofficial title. I'm not really the mayor. Thank thank you for the honor and the respect, though.
No problem. I'm so happy to have you and the wisdom and the knowledge you bring, my brother. I know tonight is going to be a powerful show. And I have the producer of the Black Coffee, No Sugar, No Cream, and founder of Survivor Speaks, my warrior sister, Trisha Duckworth, with us tonight also. Say what's happening, Trisha.
What's up, Detroit, and everybody in the surrounding areas? And hey, to my brother, B. Foley, and my sister, Valerie. Good to be on with you both tonight.
Yes.
So what we're going to talk about tonight is called the ballot or the bullet, but inaction is unacceptable. Because see, every election, I notice a lot of things that go on. Whether it's a midterm or presidential, a lot of things go on that stand out to me. The anger, the aggression, the lies, the divides between political parties, the meandering, the posturing, all of that goes on during election time. I dismiss the notion of party loyalty. I'm not a card-carrying Democrat or Republican because I can't see a damn thing that any one of them really did for me, but especially the Black community. Things are still incredibly bad, and I don't really see them getting any better. However, I do vote. And there are a lot of people who feel like their vote does not count. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about that and dig deep into why I feel the Black community mostly has lost confidence in its social groups, in politicians, in the system of voting in America. There are a lot of young people that I have had conversations with that don't vote at all. They feel like their vote does not matter and it does not count. And so I'm going to play this one video and then we're going to get into our discussions. Roll the clip for me.
Enough electoral votes, more than 270, more than enough to become the 44th President of the United States. He will be the first African-American President of the United States.
I've been broke all my life, but I kept hope all them nights. You see business in my city? Yeah, they closed all them twice. I was just riding down Salem, all them damn potholes I can't drive. I know y'all can fix it faster, but I know y'all won't try. Don't nobody care about us. And that's why I don't vote. Voted for Obama back in 2012. I remember that's when I had hope. He was saying, yes, we can. And everybody got less food stamps. And when I turned 21, I was still broke. I'd never vote again. I don't think I ever had a president make my life better. Did it all on my own. Ain't no politician ever do a nice gesture. I don't even know the mayor's name. I ain't never seen her one time ever. Tell me how she gonna help the city. What I'm supposed to do, write letters? What I'm supposed to do, blame Trump? He ain't never really gave her, Ain't nobody raised minimum wage. None of these jobs pay enough. I think they just want to keep us broke, cause they ain't putting none in place for us. This how all my people feel, but we gotta learn. We complained enough, let me change it up. Everything I just said, everybody I know think the same way. See, they don't want to see us vote, and we never do, so we see the same thing. But all our votes really do count, and they'll never really let it show. So now I'm finna break it down, cause if I don't, you would probably never know. First thing first, you know back in middle school when they taught us, it was 3 branches of the government. We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative, and executive. But all we know is the executive. That's the mayor, or the governor, and the president. Now none of them 3 people make no laws, they just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch, yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Cause we ain't even know their name, we ain't know their face, we ain't know it all. So the Congress or the State House, that's legislative, they make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do, okay y'all? See, they election every 2 years, but we don't ever even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in 08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress, cause they the ones ones make child support laws. They the ones choose if your kids at school get to eat steak or corn dogs. The state house make the court costs. So if the country failed, then you can't say it's them, it's your fault. Cause y'all ain't know to vote for Congress members that was for y'all. And they don't gotta leave after 4 years, and we just let them sit. See, they don't wanna tell you this, they want you to focus on the president. Now the third branch is the judicial, that's judges. They the reason why John Crawford and Trayvon ain't had justice. So when Meek Mill got locked up just for popping willies, we blame the judge and not the city when they let her get voted in, cause they ain't know who to vote against. Imagine life on the other side. Roads better, schools better, everybody get their license back, grocery store food better, custody of your kids back, homeless people get new shelters. If we gon' fix the U.S., we gotta start with them 2 letters, me and you. Somebody told us that the government wanna keep us broke, but the only reason why those people in the government is cause we ain't vote. And I ain't talking about the president, I'm talking about the ones we ain't know. See, they was gonna try to keep it low, but it's gonna hurt them when they see the polls.
Every time you stay home, someone is making a decision about you, making decisions about the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food your kids eat, and how much money you bring home every 2 weeks. So every time you sit out an election, every time you don't show up because you think it doesn't matter, someone else is happy that you didn't show up, so they can make that decision for you. Vote.
You know, before I would just say, hey, as a phenomenon, but now it's like, hey, because that right there, that brother was bringing it. And everything he said was true.
Yes.
Tomorrow is one of the most important days in our lives. The midterm elections, the primary elections. But as he said, we don't vote in them. Why do you think that is, Mr. Mayor?
First of all, that was an excellent video. That's like hip-hop schoolhouse rock. You know, I grew up in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that, and they made it so plain. They talked to me in language I understood and what have you. One of the reasons why we don't vote is because we don't feel as though our votes count. I mean, we go in there, like you said, like we were saying, we vote for something, we vote for someone, and then we expect something to happen, right? It's like a soda machine or pop machine, gumball machine. When you put something in, you expect something out. You get what I mean? And our vote has not counted. Why? And I heard you say something, Valerie. You're not a member of Democratic Party or Republican Party. Neither am I. You know what I mean? I go for the person who holds our best interest whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So right now, you know, our people just automatically follow the Democratic Party, regardless of what the platform is, who that person is, whatever. I'm a Democrat. As long as they're a Democrat, they'll vote for them. As long as the Democratic Party knows that we'll vote for them, they can sell us anything. You get what I mean? So our people don't vote, not just because of voter apathy, but they just don't feel connected to America. They don't feel connected to the system. And a lot of that has to do with the candidate themselves. They're not being able to identify with the common man. You get what I mean? To sit down on a park bench, to sit down in a club, to sit down on the basketball court. They're not out there engaging. What we have is a professional class out there, right? That professional class, be it doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, pharmacist, whatever, politician. So what happened is the warrior class, such as persons like yourself, myself, Trish Shea, Nate Frazier, Valerie, right? The warrior class, we out here in the gutter doing the work, right? Getting our grind on, but we have a professional class, the bourgeoisie Negro, right? The bully, he's up there making decisions for us, right? The talented 10th, as W.E. Du Bois called them, right? And they have taken this movement, our lives, and turned it into a profession. So they are the ones who are calling the shots. They're the shot callers, but they're totally disenfranchised for us. They are not connected with us. They're not connected to the grassroots person. They're not connected to the person, quote unquote, in the hood, in the projects. They're totally separated from us, right? So their only objective is not collectivism, upward mobility. It is individual upward mobility. They're only out for themselves. I can say that, right? So our people see that. They recognize it. They understand what's going on. They continue to vote for the same people over and over again. And there is no change because there is no change. It's the same people in there. So that's why people don't vote. why should I vote? The same thing's going to happen. And we keep on getting what we're getting because we always going to get what we got because the same people are the same people who are occupying the slots.
Very well said. That's why you're called the mayor. That's my guy. Okay, Trisha, what's your take on it?
I don't know what I can say behind that. But you know what? I think that when we see a lack of results for our needs in our communities, I think it discourages people's voices, right? And we always say our voice is our vote. And so when you feel like over and over and over again, your voice is being silenced because things that represent you are not making it into law, right?
Right.
When you consistently see, like say for instance, we consistently see prosecutors that operate under high levels of misconduct, right? Who does that affect? That affects mostly our people. So we don't see laws going against prosecutors to remove their immunity, but we will one day, hopefully. But we don't see these laws, so we get discouraged thinking like, I don't matter. My vote doesn't matter. I don't matter. So you know what? We'll just do what we do out here. See, the thing about us is we're very resilient, right? And we survive. And sometimes I think we just get comfortable just with surviving. And we don't realize the importance of being present, you know, in these moments where we really need to be present at. And I think honestly, some of that, or not, if all of it, it was strategic.
It is.
Very
Absolutely.
strategic. So, you know, I don't know, it's sad, but I'll tell you what, the people are awakening. And if
Yes,
we
they are.
continue to push, I believe people's eyes will open up even more.
You know, I agree because I know of a lot of voter education initiatives that I hear about. And to me, they don't get deep enough because there's a lack of familiarity with the process. You know, so education should be more about circling the ballot to make sure, you know, coloring in the oval to make sure your ballot is not spoiled and things. It's about really getting to the root of the issues and who is going to stand up and have the courage to do that. You know, we have people with a lot of melanin voting. So, you know, I support Sri Thanadar. I've said it. I've interviewed him, and a couple of people came after me, you know, like, well, he's an Indian. He's not from Detroit, this, that. I don't give a damn where he's from. I don't give a damn what color he is. And to anybody who, you know, we need a lifelong Detroiter in there. Well, if you've been lifelong in any position, anywhere, and you need a platform as a representative or anything to make a change, then I'm questioning your integrity, because you can do the work in your community without having that seat. And you should be known for doing the work in your community without having the seat, and then you've earned the seat. But if you ain't known for doing shit in your community already and you just decided to run and you think somebody's just supposed to vote for you, maybe they will, but it won't be me. Show thyself approved. You know, put the work in first. So I don't give a damn if you were born and raised in the city of Detroit or none of that. That means nothing to me. I don't care. I don't care. Because your neighborhood shouldn't look like it is. You should be ashamed to say that you've been there for your whole life and the community still looks the way that it is. So you need a platform to make a difference in your community? You could have had one, just that sole voice, going up to the people loitering in front of the store and saying, hey, brother, your life means more than hanging out in front of the liquor store. Hey, brother, you know, we're going to start a community garden. You know, hey, brother, put the guns down. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to change our problems. When we vote someone in, they don't have the power to stop teenage pregnancy. They don't have the power to stop gun violence. All they can do is put in more laws, and with more laws probably becomes more prosecutorial misconduct and police brutality because they got to make a difference because they made a name for themselves after being voted on, voted in. Get the hell out of here with that stuff. So we need real voter education. And voter education means you understand who you're putting in office. Melanin is not a damn condition to vote for somebody. Period. Point blank and stop straddling the fence before the fence hit you where the good Lord split you. Pick a side.
That's right.
Pick a side. We got a lot of fence straddler politicians. We got a lot of fence straddler endorsements going on. You on one side of the fence, then you jump on the other side of the fence. What's your real position?
Mm-hmm.
Woo, let me take a breath.
Go ahead. I'm like, go ahead and roll.
Yeah, because you know, what is your real position? And so let's start. Black organizations. Let's start there. We can move the politicians out of the way. We have NAACP. We can start there.
Okay.
Right there. That's enough. Because all of the things that we're fighting for, that you're fighting for in your community, Mr. Mayor, that Trichet takes the front lines for, that I speak about, are all issues that they should be taking up. We shouldn't even be doing this at all. We should be so far past this. It's a shame, but we're not. We are not. Because the largest chicken dinner in the world is what you want to be known for. Well, let me say this. Sitting at the table doesn't make you a diner unless you eat some of what's on the plate. Right. So chew on some of these neighborhood issues.
Right.
Don't nobody care about nothing. That should be the National Association of All Complacent People, because you ain't moving and you ain't doing shit.
Damn. Okay.
Now, I got called out at one of the protests because I said that publicly. So let me clarify what I mean, and then I'm going to turn it over. I don't mean everyone, because I have some friends that I know work very hard at a local level to try to make change. They are part of the NAACP. So I can't say that they're not doing anything, but I will say where they get their marching orders from, whether that's Wendell Anthony or whether that's at a higher level, they ain't doing shit. So somebody has their foot on somebody else's neck, and the trickle-down effect equals zero for the people except for the largest chicken dinner in America. And where's the money? You know, why are these GoFundMe accounts put up when the NAACP has a legal defense fund? So why are people putting up GoFundMe accounts for legal defense? Ben Crump, I give him his respect and his props as an attorney, but we have some local level issues that need to be worked on. So what's going on with that? So let me hear someone else's take on this issue.
Well,
hey, go ahead, Trichet.
All right, I'm gonna come in real quick and be out real quick.
Take time. Now take your time.
I respect those that are in the NAACP. I know some people that are in the NAACP, and I respect them. However, it seems to be a powerless group in these recent and even in time past where issues have rocked our community. I have not seen a lot of them present right on the front line. And you know, then people say you should join, you should join, you should join. Okay, I joined. I put my money in, filled out the paperwork online. I never heard anything back at all. So now come to find out, and I'm not sure why, the agency is still on pencil and paper. They're not even modernized. And this baffles me. When you continue to collect money, where is it going? Because why aren't you on an electronic form where if somebody sends in a registration form, it should be an automatic process where it starts the ball rolling to welcome somebody into this group and also get them their card. Never received it. Another time, I had a teacher at Eastern Michigan University who straight out lied on me. And she was a racist, and I had heard horror stories about her before I got there. And when I got there, I got my dose of her. I reached out to Michigan Department of Civil Works, the Michigan Department of Civil Rights, the Department of Education, as well as the NAACP. I put in a complaint with them. I registered it online. I never heard anything back. If they called me, they was on a three-way with me, you, and Brian. And y'all know we wasn't on no three-way with the NAACP. So therefore, there was no response. Now, what I am hearing from trusted sources is that the national body has handicapped these agencies because you as a local chapter cannot hit the front line for anything unless you get notification from the headquarters. Now that's what sickens me. So then that means from the top down, there's silence when it comes to real issues in our community, but you want to always continue to have these freedom dinners where you're raising money, but you're not really active in the community. And as a matter of fact, I'm not going to call his name, even though I want to really bad because he tried to, say something about a friend of mine, but I won't. We were protesting in Inkster the other day. Someone, and a pastor, from the NAACP rode right by us and never even turned around to see what was going on. He seen the signs. He knew we were protesting. Why wouldn't that have been a concern of his for 2 babies to die from mold exposure? Why wouldn't that have been a concern of his, right? Just even as a pastor, okay, take the NAACP aside, but I'm sure we'll get to the pastors in a minute. But I'm just saying, where are they at when it comes to being on the front line for things that happen in our community? I love and I respect what it stood for, but in this day, I just don't see them present, and I don't understand why.
Touche. See this right here? You probably can't see that right there. If you see that?
Yes, I can see.
See that say NAACP behind my back?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. See that right there? That's your brother speaking at the NAACP Freedom Gala at the Morris Lawrence Building, October 20th, 2018. Okay. That's your brother right there. Okay. That's me speaking. I was purposely asked to speak there. Dr. Ben Edmondson, former Ypsilanti Community School superintendent, asked me to speak at the NAACP banquet. And I'm laughing because that's how I did. I said, "You sure you want me to speak at the NAACP banquet?"
Yeah, I'm laughing too. Like, okay, I hope he know what he was asking for.
You sure you want me to speak at the NAACP as you described it, Valerie, banquet? Brian Foley, you know what you expect when you get me on the mic. And the response was, "That's why we want you there. So that you can stir up the people and interest in the people so that we can build up membership in the Ypsilanti Woolowan branch of the NAACP." Now, when I got there, I lit it up. I lit the stage up, right? Y'all know how I talk, I lit it up and I challenged everybody. I was given an application to join the NAACP. Now, mind you, this was October the 18th, let me get the date right, because I want to have it right. This was October 20th, 2018, 2 years ago. Filled out the application. I ain't got nothing back from them since. Not only have I not gotten anything back from them since, I ain't heard a peep out the Ypsilanti Woolowan branch of the NAACP. Ironically, I mean, not a peep. I ain't seen them nowhere. Who is y'all? I get calls from people all the time, Facebook inbox messages. "Brian, how can we contact the NAACP, Ypsilanti, what have you?" I refer them to the Ann Arbor branch of the NAACP, the Ann Arbor branch. So this past Saturday, I was in a meeting, and the president of the NAACP came into our meeting. I wouldn't have said a word to her except for she introduced herself as the president of the NAACP. And we called and talked after the meeting. The question that I asked her was this right here: "How come we haven't seen you locally on the Grady Yale situation?" And she confirmed well, actually, Trichet confirmed exactly what was said. They cannot do anything without the go-ahead of the national branch. That is a verbatim from the president spoken to me on the telephone this past Saturday. How many members y'all got? When do y'all have meetings? I ain't heard nothing. Well, we ain't had none in a while. Woo, woo, woo. How many members it is? Okay, where my damn membership card at? Right? That's what I really want to know.
What you gonna do with it?
Card.
Pick your teeth when you don't have a toothpick at the restaurant?
Yeah, you get what I mean? Where's my membership card at? Because I was brought here for a reason, with a purpose, to breathe life into this organization so that we can bring it back to its prestigious platform that it was back in the, I'm going to say like this, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, okay? Because it is not the NAACP of the one that was in my history book, right? It is watered down with milquetoast liberal, neoliberalism Democrats. That's what it is, who have no interest, as I said before, and no attachment to the actual struggle, to the people who are actually suffering the injustices of racism and systemic, the system of white supremacy. No attachments whatsoever. They are the people who are, like I said, the talented tip, who get together, and all this was a get together to fellowship at the largest sit-down chicken dinner the world knows. So I don't know about y'all. I have a motto. I believe I don't know if President Barack Obama quoted it, but that's what I found out and I attribute to here. It says, "We are the people we've been waiting on."
Mm-hmm.
Valerie, Trichet, right? We're the people we waiting on. I ain't looking for no pastor to lead me in a march. I'm not looking for the national branch, the local branch, the regional branch, and no disrespect towards Wendell Anthony, whatever. I ain't looking for no Negro association to guide us, to do me in, to lead us in anything. We the people that we waiting on, and we got to take it to the streets.
That's right.
They had a good run, like we say in the dope game. You had a good run. You really did. Now turn loose the microphone and get your ass off the stage and let some other people get in here and do some work.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. And I ain't cutting on it. It wasn't like that, because when she told me that she has to have permission from the national branch to address the Grady Hill situation, and they sent up the information and they haven't responded yet, I can't wait no longer. I don't even want to talk. You understand what I'm saying? There ain't nothing we ain't got to talk about.
There's
nothing
to talk about.
There ain't nothing to talk about.
And
there ain't nothing to talk about.
They're not the only. Anytime, and this is sad to say, and Trichet knows. Anytime I hear the anything black, the black caucus, the black anything, I get the eye roll, and it's just like, I don't want to be a part of that. They ain't doing nothing. You know, what are you doing? The black caucus, the black anything. What in the hell are you doing? Black people, we cannot keep looking the other way when we have a bunch of cowards as leaders.
That's right. That's right. They've been rendered powerless. That's what it is, right?
That's exactly.
Because once you bite the bait, now you have to do things their way. So I understand why now God said you're not going to work for a secular agency, or you're not going to be bought by anybody, because you can't be in a position where you waiting on somebody else to give you something, because you will not move if they say no. See, we can't be bought. We are nobody's puppet. We're nobody's servant other than servants of God, serving the people, and a part of we the people. That's it. So that's the difference, because those individuals are rendered powerless by the associations. Why? Because of the root that they're built under, which equates to racism and white supremacy, which has stifled the voice of Black people in their communities.
And that is their purpose. Like I said, they are no longer into collective uplifting for the people. It's all about upward mobility. I've arrived. Look at me. Yep. You get what I'm saying? And totally detached. They're just a nerdy class of professionalism who just meet to meet. That's all they do, to sit around and rub each other's, stroke each other's egos. totally detached from the community.
And then
And that is the truth.
that is the truth. And here's another thing. When we get people that have courage, when I look at Eli Savage and when I look at Rashida Tlaib, they have courage. They stand up and say what it is.
Yeah.
You know, now Eli doesn't fight back as much. You know, he had that clean campaign pledge and he keeps it clean. But Rashida will let you know what it is.
Yeah.
She'll let you know what it is. And that's our sister. When we call her, she shows up. Power to Rashida Tlaib. She don't mess around. And I don't believe you have to have black skin in order to know about a struggle. You don't have to have black skin to know about a struggle. Sri Tanadar, he struggled. I know part of his life story. You don't have to be black to understand a struggle and to want to help our people. You don't have to be black to do that. You don't. And I'm so sick of hearing Rashida being attacked because she's courageous, Eli being attacked because he's courageous and standing up. They shouldn't have had to stand up in our communities. You know, even when I think about it, it's a little bit off the subject, but when people talk about gentrification and all of that in Detroit, well, hell, when the buildings were dilapidated and they were $1, we ain't buy them. So now somebody else bought them, fixed them up, and charged more for the rent, and it's a problem. When we had the opportunity to buy them for $1 our damn self. So we can't attack people because they're courageous. But what I say, when I got attacked after supporting Sri, which I don't even vote in his district. I just like him. I voted for him for governor. And I'll do it again. If he's who I feel is the best person running. My vote is my voice. What I protest and what I speak on is my choice. I can't vote for him. So there's really no argument coming from me from what happens over in his district. I can't vote in that district. But I will say this. When you're a threat, you're a target. And that's why people try to come after me, you, Mr. Mayor, Trisha, Rashida, and anybody that's a threat. But what you should be running is your campaign and not your mouth.
Come on.
Because while you're sitting up there talking about me, my brother on this line, my sister on this line, or any other candidate, that's the opportunity you should have been using to uplift what you're about. Because see, melanin voting is not what I do. You can have some melanin in your skin, but just because you black, I don't care. I'm about the issues. Just because you Democrat, I don't care. I voted Republican before. I'll do it again. So I don't care nothing about Democratic, Republican, black, grits in politics, sit down, chicken dinner, none of that stuff. I'm not bought, so I'm not bossed. Those are the words of Sri Tanadar, and I love it. I'm not bought, and I'm not bossed. And that's why I don't take sponsorship or anything on this show, because I'm going to say what the hell I want to say.
Yeah. Let me just tag in on what you said on non-melanin voting, how you described it, right? Okay. First of all, everybody black ain't black. Okay.
True.
Everybody black ain't black. And I had to explain to people, when they say black, what are you talking about black? Are you talking about racially classified as black? Are you talking about black skin? Or are you talking about being black? So are you talking to me about lowercase black or uppercase black? Let me share with you. Right. And I asked them, that's why I say everybody black ain't black. You need to ask the questions and see if they're writing with a lowercase b or an uppercase b. This is what Stephen Biko says. Black consciousness is an attitude of the mind and a way of life. The most positive call to emanate from the black world for a long time. Its essence is the realization by the black man of the need to rally together with his brothers around the cause of their oppression, the blackness of their skin, and to operate as a group to rid themselves of the shackles that bind them to perpetual servitude. That's my definition of black, right? So like I said, everybody black is not black. So I'm with you 100% on that. Just because they black, oh, he's a black. Oh, you know, the one right now, she's a sister. She may not look like one, but she's a sister because she got some melanin in here in her skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that ain't what I'm talking about. Is she BLACK? Is she around about our revolution, about our cause? Is she willing to get in the gutter with us and uplift and get this white man's foot off my neck? You understand what I'm saying? Or is she just around to get a slice of the pie? You get what I mean? You just, like I say, the talented 10th, right? Always take home a 10th of the talent, okay? So that's what most of them do. They have turned the revolution, the struggle into a professionalism. You get what I mean? Whether we have a people right now, there's a group of Negroes. Let me say this. When I say Negro, right, I'm talking about a person who is unconscious to there being a participatory to the systemic racism, as opposed to, I'm not going to use the term Uncle Tom, I'm going to use the term for what it is, Sambo. Okay? Sambo is a person who is conscious of having his foot on our neck. A Negro is unconscious of what he's doing. And you'll find that 95.95% of these people are Negroes because their unconsciousness of their participation in systemic racism. The only thing that they know is that they have went through a 4-year institution, an 8-year institution, a 12-year institution, whatever, and have got their PhD, and now they have arrived. And they have turned this into a professional of receiving all of the funds that come in that are allocated to our community, come through this professional class of Negroes, and then they hand them out to us and dole them out to those who they feel is worthy. Okay? The professional class Negro, right? I'm arrived. I'm just helping out the poor black people to do, because this is what I'm doing, right? I'm doing a good job, and I'm master. Yes, you is, Toby. You're doing a real good job. Okay?
I know that's right.
Yeah, seriously. And I know what I'm talking about. I ain't know what I'm talking about. There is money. We're talking about voting. There is money that is allocated from the federal government down through the state, through the county, that is exclusively geared towards people such as us three right here. But who gets that money is that professional Negro, and it never gets down to those who it gets to. Instead, they meet with each other at the world's largest chicken dealer, and then they decide these new programs that they're going to put together, and then they'll hire their brother, their sister who has graduated from this university or that university. She's a member of this sorority. He's a member of this fraternity, and therefore I'll get my brother in, and I'll put him as the manager of this particular program, and I'll put my other brothers in peripheral, and then we all sitting around at this one organization. Your color is black, your color is orange, your color is green, your color is yellow, and then when your color is called, you stand out and do a jig and turn around. What the hell does that got to do with the brother that's hungry, that's out there in the gutter? Feel what I'm saying? And that's what's going on with our money. There is money in our community. It is not getting trickled down to those who can identify with people who are suffering the most, so that we can get the funds and the resources, the program, and the help with them, because we empathize with them. They have no empathy with them whatsoever. Their whole objective, their goal was to arrive. And now that they have arrived, their completely lifestyle is dependent on persons who are living in my community to keep them down in a lower class so that they can continue to live a middle class existence. They have turned this into a hustle, and they have become worse than the whitest white man.
I agree 100%. And if somebody tell me they black, it's like, are you blackety black?
Right.
Because I'm blackety black. Right? Yeah. And it's another thing. When we vote, even for school board, like, voting is so important when it goes down to who's going to be on your school board. Local elections are more important than a national election. Yes, there is some influence of what happens in a national election, but your local election is the most influential election. That's what controls what's going on in your neighborhood and your life.
That's where the money goes. That's what I'm saying. Those people dictate where those resources, that those money is coming down from the federal and state and county government. They get into their hands, and then they get a buddy a job. And then he got this new program we're going to get together. You get what I mean? We got a new program. We got more programs. I'm so tired of damn programs and nonprofits and this, that, and third. I don't know what to do.
I agree. And you know what, though, what happens is it's not enough accountability, because as long as that's my boy or that's my girl, I can get a selfie, I can get some rice, you know, or whatever it is that they're giving out, they still cool. It doesn't even matter about the accountability. And switching gears a little bit, because there's a prosecutor race this year. And everybody keeps giving Kim Worthy the praise for her conviction integrity unit, not understanding that anybody that was wrongfully convicted under her regime. How do you praise that? And anyway, to me, the conviction integrity unit shouldn't be to release people who were wrongfully convicted, although I do believe that that should happen. But when you talk about conviction integrity unit, then that means they should be looking at the integrity of the prosecutors, the integrity of the judges, to ensure that this is not happening, not releasing people after the fact, quasi promising $50,000 a year for every year they've been incarcerated. But then, well, if you've been in there 30-something years, that's too long. We ain't gonna make you that rich, Toby. You know, we gonna have to cut your foot off, you know, or whatever. We'll let you have a Chicken George, but Toby, you can't have all of that money. That don't even make sense off of a technicality. You know, so when will the police stop policing the police? We need change. We need to vote somebody else in. Look at here. I appreciate what Kim Worthy did with the Malice Green. That put her on the map. Okay.
That's right.
I understand that. But I'm saying what's going on now, like even the case with when Trichet was out there in Taylor protesting and the lady hit her with the car and ran over Mr. Petoskey's bike, they still haven't brought any charges. Still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, if my black self would have ran that white lady over or ran over her bike, I would not be doing the show today. Or perhaps I would be, but on bond, awaiting trial.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up with that?
Yeah.
Politics.
Mm-hmm. You know, we have. That's why I like to be on the Black Coffee, No Sugar, No Cream show. You know, uncut. Same way with my brother Nate. Right. This is no house bar. We have got to stop allowing people to come into our community or rise up into our community or whatever, saying that I want to run for city council. I want to run for mayor. I want to run for county commission. I want to run for anything. Nigga, go sit down somewhere. You want to lead us. You want to guide us. What is your qualifications?
Exactly.
You don't ask those questions. What we need to start doing in our community is this right here. We need to start grooming our own within, without, or whatever, and then they represent our best interest when they go to the table. Instead of you coming to me, telling me that I want to represent you and at a certain level, and we know nothing about your integrity, we know nothing about your character, we know nothing about your background. All we know is that you got a cute smile, and you fit the part, and you have the education that you can dialogue intelligibly with white folks on law on a legal platform. That is not a qualification to represent me. What we need to do is form our own committees, organization, and boards, and then we'll groom Trichet. Tell Trichet, this is what we want for our community. And then we want you to go up and we want you to represent, this is what we want. This is what we happen. Instead of you going up there telling us what you're going to do for us. This is what you can expect from me. This is what you can't expect from me. This is what I'm going to do. I'm the best because I am this, I am that. And we are not doing that. We're allowing people just to come up and say, hey, vote for me because. Hold on. Vote for you because it's not because of what you did, what you do. You're going there to represent my interests. You are my representative, right? I'm not asking, you don't tell people, you don't go up there and tell people what we want when you haven't talked to me. No, we need to find a board and sit them down, and then we'll select before you even get your name on the ballot.
Yep.
Before you even fill out an application, right? We need to groom our own to represent us on all levels of government.
And you know what? That will represent a true revolution. That right there, because we need a revolution. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the bloody type. You know, it does not have to be the bloody type.
No, we cannot engage in a bloody revolution because we do not have the armament, okay? Every Negro run around here got a 9mm and AK. So what? You don't own an armory and you don't own an armament. So the minute you shoot them little bullets that you got in your clip, then you're going to get ran over and you're going to get taken out. Number one, you're fighting up against the world's strongest army, the greatest army that this world has ever seen, and you will not be able to do it. But we have the most powerful force on our side, and that is the God of our understanding that has guided us through since we've been here, and we need to tap into that. Question that you asked of the name of the show, you said the ballot or the bullet, right? And that's what Malcolm presented at that time. Is it going to be the ballot or the bullet? At that time, we were in a position to use the bullet. We were in a position because we had federal troops that were overseas that were fighting the Vietnam War, which was a very unjust war. We had National Guard too. Their army was spread then, where we could have made a true revolution and it would have been bloody. So the question was the ballot or the bullet. We're not in position to use a bullet on any level of existence whatsoever to fight any type of war other than to protect our homestead. Our greatest weaponry, what we have, is the ballot. And we need to learn how to use the ballot effectively and to groom those, as what I said, to get those in position to represent our best interests. And that is why most of our brothers and sisters are enthused about voting, because the person that they vote for, they cannot identify with. But when we learn how to use that ballot as effectively, we know how to use a 9mm or an AK-47, then we will have a true revolution, as what Gil Scott-Heron said. He said the revolution will not be televised, it will be live. And that's what he was talking about when he said that. It won't be televised once we learn how to use the ballot effectively. And that's what Malcolm was talking about, the ballot or the bullet. Now it's time for the ballot.
You know what?
What you described is basically it's we the people. That's it.
Yep.
If the people understand that they have the real power, groom your leaders, put your leaders in place. See, people don't want to do politics because they don't want to be a part of that system. But when you're from we the people, you don't do the system. You carry the voice of the people in your heart. You carry the voice of the people in your spirit, and you do what's right for the people that put you in office.
That's right.
Well, speaking of the revolution will not be televised, let's hear what Gil Scott has to say, and we're going to be on our way out.
The revolution wasn't televised in the 60s. Is it going to be televised in the 90s?
Well, you know, the catchphrase, what that was all about, the revolution will not be televised, that was about the fact that the first change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before you change the way you live and the way you move. So when we said that the revolution will not be televised, we were saying that, like, that the thing that's going to change people is something that no one will ever be able to capture on film. It'll just be something that you see, and all of a sudden you realize, I'm on the wrong page, or I'm on the right page, but I'm on the wrong note. And I've got to get in sync with everyone else to understand what's happening in this country. But I think that the black Americans have been the only real die-hard Americans here, because we're the only ones who've carried the process through the process. That everyone else has to sort of like skip stages. We're the ones who marched, we're the ones who carried the Bible, we're the ones who carried the flag, we're the ones who tried to go through the courts. And being born American didn't seem to matter, because we were born Americans, but we still had to fight for what we were looking for. And we still had to go through those channels and those processes.
Well, we heard it from him, and I will say this. We have a lot of white seats and black robes. We have a lot of people vying to be leaders in our community as politicians. But what we need is someone with the courage who is not going to straddle the fence, who will stand up for our liberties and what we are due. Is that a Democrat? Is that a Republican? I doubt it. But if there is an individual out there that's willing to do that, that's the person that we need to stand up and be accountable and be held accountable. So, you know, our time is up. As always, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for coming on the show. I appreciate you. I love you, brother. And of course, my warrior sister, Trisha. Thank you for coming on the show. You have been listening to Black Coffee, No Sugar, No Cream, where we keep it blackety black. I'm not trying to spill tea or make you feel dazed like you had a shot of cheap liquor. I'm just trying to get you to see things from a different perspective. Mine. Have a wonderful week, and we're out of here.
I'm just trying to do the best that I can as a strong black man. Yeah. Here I stand as a strong black man, having done all I can to please my fellow man. I don't understand why that knife is in your hand. After doing all I can as a strong black man, I'm gonna take my stand as a black man. I will do the best that I can as a black man. I stand on my own as a black man. I'm gonna sing my song. Oh, this is me. So hear my plea. I'm a young black man, down on my knees. I say this world is wrong, and we don't have too long. I'm gonna take the stand as a strong black man. I feel the rain falling down on me. If you could see what's on my mind, oh, you will see. Everyone would be more kind. Everyone would be happy. I'm gonna keep on my goals. I won't let it go. As a black man, gonna take my stand. As a black man, I'ma do the best that I can. Oh, as a black man, I stand on my own. As a black man, I'm gonna sing my song. Sometimes I gotta move.